Hi guys, this is Lord Bob Hickman. It brings me much sorrow today to have to come to you again and discuss what is a horrific event. As many of you know, last night there was a terrorist attack in London, and from what I've last heard, 7 people have died, and or maybe it's 10. I don't remember the number. I think it was 7, and over 50 have been injured and are in hospital. First of all, I want to say that I am with you in heart and soul. I'd like to extend my sympathies to the victims of this horrible tragedy. I'd also like to extend my sympathies to the larger community of the people of the United Kingdom. What is happening is beyond belief, and the fact that I again have to come here and discuss this makes me so angry. I hesitate doing this video earlier because the truth is I had a lot of anger. The last time this happened, I was shocked and saddened. I was angry too. But to be honest, now I am very angry. I want to say that, first of all, to the people of the United Kingdom, please do not feel that you are alone. There are many of us here in the United States who feel a great sympathy and a great resolve to stand united with all of you. I am one of your fellow friends, and as an American, I unite myself with the people of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland at this time. I'm the head of a spiritual order known as the Order of the Purple Cord, and I'm asking that all of our members, wherever you are, if you have anybody that you know that has suffered, I ask all of you to reach out to them. We have a number of members in the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and I would like each of you who are British members of the Order of the Purple Cord to also, as part of your spiritual work, offer up your prayers, your sympathies, and if you are near the victims and can visit them and help them, I encourage you to make an effort to be present as part of your spiritual work. You know, the fact that we have to discuss this points to a bigger problem. You see, we're not just dealing with just random violence. This is targeted violence, and this violence comes from Islam. And I know it's not politically correct that I should point out a specific religion, but the fact of the matter is that Islam in the United Kingdom is unfettered and out of control. There are many mosques who will say, oh, we're moderate. We're not preaching violence. But when you look through the list of their speakers who have regularly visited the mosque, much of the list contains radicals. So that hate is being preached every day. I feel for the people of the United Kingdom, for I feel that their government has in many ways failed them by not addressing the problem. They're more concerned with not offending people, with being politically correct, than saving lives. When the last attack happened, people accused me of being a blind psychic. They said, oh, you didn't realize it's a false flag? You must not be a real psychic. The fact of the matter is I'm very aware that there are elements within many governments around the world that are seeking to use tragedies to bring in totalitarianism. That's a whole separate issue on top of all of this. So to answer, people have asked me, well, don't you know it's a false flag? My response is it may well be, but it does not change the fact that Islamic terror is being used and the fact that people, innocent people, Children, at least in the case of Manchester, have died as a result. I'm not asking for a violent revolution. I'm not saying we need to rise in arms. I'm saying as spiritual people, we must see the light and the truth of the reality. Spirituality can be a great force to do good. And in the order of the purple cord, this is our goal. We seek to do good. We pray for people. We do rituals of healing for people. And we have a peaceful philosophy. We don't have scriptures that encourage death and destruction to non-believers. It's simply not part of our spiritual tradition. And so we must go back to the truth of where the problem is coming from. And it is coming from Islam. I'm not going to be politically correct. You can be offended at me if you will. But the truth is that the facts show the truth of the situation. I encourage all of you who are spiritual people to pray. I've seen some videos where people say, well, praying isn't doing anything. You're right. Prayer, in some cases, seems to be just a cute out for a lot of people. But people who truly work with spiritual power do know that we can bring healing and unity and light. But if you talk about prayer, don't just make it a cute hashtag. Oh, pray for the victims. You know, a lot of people do that, but do they actually stop and send light and healing to the suffering? I challenge those of you today who say, well, I believe in prayer, to actually use the power and seriously focus and send light and protection. I, as the head of the Order of the Purple Cord, am inviting and encouraging all of our members to truly pray, as many of you know how to do. Together we can be a force for change, but we cannot have success in healing and in change until we acknowledge the truth. So let us be united. Let us not react with violence. The Wiccan Rede says, harm none, do as you will. And so we will not respond with violence, but we will respond with light and truth. And I encourage any of you who have any influence in government to bring the truth to your local council, that unfettered immigration, open borders, Islamicization, I can't say the word, radical Islam taking over communities is not acceptable. Until we acknowledge the problem and face it, this will continue. You know, in the United States, our president, Donald Trump, has received countless amounts of criticism for saying we should have a travel ban for countries that show hostile Islamic support of terror. And yet people in America are saying how fascist, how hateful. I'm not here to defend Donald Trump, but I'm here to say that in this area, I think he's right. Why is it so wrong to say that if there is a group planning destruction and murder, that we should not filter it? Again, until we address the problem, there will be no healing, no cure, no fixing. So I say, let the blame lie where the blame is to lie. It is true that radical Islam is the cause of much suffering in the United Kingdom and throughout many countries in Europe, and even in the United States, where Islam must be looked at. Islam must be considered as a factor. the politicians who want to play political correctness and say, oh, we don't know about that. What do they know? Well, I was very disheartened to hear Mayor Khan of London recently make a statement. And he said, well, part of life in a big city is just getting used to terrorism. It's just part of daily life. Really? Really, Mayor Khan? Because you know what? I lived in the United Kingdom. We didn't view that as just normal life. And so to brush it under the rug with such a callous, I believe, a callous comment disrespects the lives of those who have suffered at the hands of this terror. No, we don't have to accept a society where people just have to put up with it. I think we need to make choices. Some of those choices will be tough. It may not make us very popular in the world. But popularity doesn't save lives. Policies and procedures that block this behavior is what saves lives. So you know what? Today, Segi Bob is angry. I'm not happy. I'm sad, but I'm more angry than sad at this point. And so pray for me that I will discover peace and I will have clarity. Because I hate having my consciousness clouded by the thought that, gee, I have to be on the lookout because some radical Islamic terrorists might be on the street today. We shouldn't have to live under that. It's not right. I'm going to put some links below to people that have made very, I think, valid statements here on YouTube. People that I think you should seriously look at who live in Britain, who know what's going on in the day-to-day world. They're in touch with the common man. You see? A lot of the politicians are in their elite world. They don't live in the communities where radical Islam is taking over. But the people that I'm going to put the links to below do. They know the reality. And I've talked to them and I know what's going on. I have a lot of viewers in Britain. And many of you have written to me and told me the truth of what is going on in your country. And I say, you know what? It's time that we as a people stand up and address the truth and point the finger where it lies. Open borders doesn't work. Unfettered immigration doesn't work. Radical Islam being allowed to just do what it wants doesn't work. So I send to you, again, my heartfelt sympathies for all of you who have had to suffer under this terror. You're not alone, and I stand united with you. Thank you for being here today. I send each of you my blessings, my concern, and my love. Let's be united, and let's truly bring peace back to the world. I love you all. Blessings to everybody in London and Manchester.